Can a broke artist on the other side of the country make it back to the best convention he's ever been to? Let's find out. Last year, I struck out on a whim and attended what will become my new favorite convention, Lightbox Expo. For context, Lightbox Expo is essentially Mecca for visual artists. It's where everyone from a beginner sketchbook scribbler to leading industry professionals get to come together, talk shop, and vibe with the community. It was easily the highlight of my 2025, and I knew by the end of it that I had to come back. However, for 2026, I wouldn't go unprepared. A common mistake most beginners make is that they don't bring anything to network with. At the time, all I had to make up for this was my Instagram account. But this year will be different. I'm making my first art book, and I'm going to bring it with me to Lightbox this October. There are just two problems with that goal. One is that I never made an art book before, and two is that I'm flat broke. So how do we fix this? First, let's ask, how much money do I need in order to make the trip? And how much do I need in order to make my own art book? Starting off, real simple, the badge. If you're attending 3 days, then the price is $175 plus shipping, which, if I remember correctly, was about $190 to $200. So let's say $200 to start. Now, while taking a plane would be easy, flying in a plane with an anxiety disorder is not. So instead, I'm opting to go by train this time. I'm considering using the Amtrak Rail Pass. For $500, you get 30 days to travel basically anywhere you want for up to 10 segments. Segments are anytime you get on and off a train. So if you're going from, say, Houston to Seattle and you transfer trains, it's not one segment, but two, which is not quite as free range as I thought, but it could work. I tried planning out a multi-trip on Amtrak and seeing how much it would cost, but I kept getting error messages when trying to repeat it. The one time it did work, it came up to about $442, which was cheaper, but with how finicky the process is, it might just be safer to go with the pass. Now, for the hotels. The local hotels will have a discount for those attending, but even then, the average cost for a night there will be over $200. 3 nights, plus tax, plus deposit, came up to a little over $1,000 when I last stayed. I also know that I lack restraint. Well, I love to support my fellow artists, so I'm going to need probably like an extra $200 to kind of cover that too. I would also save about $120 if I felt like eating out. Assuming everything is about like $20 down there, that's about 2 meals for 3 nights, and you could just substitute the missing meals with snacks. So altogether, taking in the badge, the hotel, the train, and everything else, we're looking at about roughly $2,000 for the entire trip alone. So, how do I plan to pay for a minimum $2,000 trip? Now, realistically speaking, a job. But my dream is to be a full-time artist someday. So how do I make that a reality? Well, here's the plan. In 2 parts, it goes like this. First, I create my art book. It not only works as a product itself, but I could also sell individual pieces within the book as their own separate prints. Secondly, I can also make art that's purely for commercial purposes. Now, that's not to say I'm making basic slop with no creative merit, not at all. Just, I'm not going to be putting as much emotional investment into it as I would my personal work. Instead, my focus will be on technical skill. I have some ideas, but nothing concrete yet. I'll develop them as the series goes on so we can see my progress together. Any ideas or inputs that you may have, leave them in the comments so that I can read your suggestions down below. As for the art book, the price is a little too deeply tied into the process of making it, so we'll save that for another video. I'm going to end it right here, but hey, this is not the end, only just the beginning. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Peace.